Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live. Now, proudly, South Africa is hosting a 3-day local wine expo. It was in its second installation for this year. This is where South Africa wine owners got to learn about how they can get their wines into retail markets and hotels. This was a showcase of local wine owners who have successfully merged their love for wine with their pride in their cultural heritage. It is the last day. It was rather the last day of the expo, and here is how day one went.
It was a celebration of local flavors, rich traditions and unwavering pride. Proudly South African hosted its second Local Wine Expo. Wine enthusiasts came out in numbers to experience a showcase that is diverse and exceptional wines that South Africa has to offer.
We are at the Wine Expo, the Proudly South African Local Wine Expo, where we are here to showcase and celebrate lesser known, predominantly smaller wine-owned brands. The reason why we do this is because the biggest challenge that these guys have is access to markets. It's companies who are not as big as the usual ones and the more common ones, and it's companies who are battling to get shelf space with retailers, companies who are battling to break it into hotels and restaurants. And so the reason why we do this is to ensure that through the bar session we had when we opened the event this morning, to expose them to decision makers that come from all of those establishments. So it's a good access to market opportunity for them. We had a bar session where there were buyers representing hotels, restaurants, liquor traders, retailers, wholesalers, anyone who's in a position to can take these locally made wine brands to consumers through their route to market platforms. And the biggest thing that came out of it is that there was a matchmaking attempt that we made even before the start of this event. And so each of these brands had an opportunity to interact with buyers, showcase their brands, let the guys taste, and a lot of them are going to walk away from this event with an opportunity to list their products with each of those establishments and each of those retailers that they would previously have battled to have access to. In the main, you have a list of companies that affiliate with Proudly South African who have gone through a vetting process at Proudly South African to ensure that their wine is up to the quality required for that industry. You can see if you walk around that it's high quality brands, all obviously targeted at different segments of the market, but each and every one of them properly vetted, and I'm confident that those who are going to visit this expo over these 3 days are going to enjoy the finest that Mzansi has to offer. The most important thing is that each of them have different varietals, so depending on what your palate favors you, there's something for everyone, and there's something that you will taste and you will love and you will buy and take home as a consumer.
These passionate owners have infused their wines with a sense of identity and history by giving them names that reflect the richness of South African heritage. By doing so, they're not only showcasing their love for their homeland, but also paying homage to their ancestors and embracing diversity.
I started in the wine industry 20 years ago. We were the first 100% black-owned wine label at the time, after the new democracy, called Lindiwe Wines. But because we were black and we didn't own land, so we were a risk. And unfortunately, we only lasted for 5 years. So in 2007, we closed down. And then I laid low for about 2 years, and I thought, I got this passion for the wine industry. Even though it's a white male-dominated industry, there's a lot of challenges in that. But in the 5 years past, it actually kept us growing and stronger. So my son and myself decided, no, Mom, you're going to come out with your own label. And then I went to go and see a supplier and a winemaker. In 2009, we then launched Libby's Pride Wines. Libby is my nickname, and my star sign is the lion. And the lion is the pride of Africa. And that is where Libby's Pride come from. We are exporting, and we are also locally on the change tours.
This is a brand that I founded. We are based in Joburg. I'm partners with Star. We partnered up with a wine farm in Friendship to make our wines. We are shy of 2 years, so we are like really a COVID baby. The name itself, since I founded the brand, is made up of the terms of endearment that my father used to call me. When I told her about my relationship with my father, she bought into the sentiment, so that's why we're partners. And then the logo itself, I'm Zulu, so our beadwork is always in triangles, so this is in part a geometric representation of a Zulu love letter. So Nanola is a story of self, of family, and of origin.
Today we're presenting and showcasing some of our wines. We've got a couple of varietals. We've got about 7 in total, focusing on the reds. When you look at our red blend, it tells a story about Lali wine. So for the longest of time, we thought Lali was just a name. In fact, a nickname. It was a name given to me by my dad, naming me after his mom, of course. So Lali actually has a number of origins, but we just thought it was a nickname. Guess what? The first part, which is the bottle itself, represents South Africa, right? From a South African context, as Lalin simply means village, right? And then, if you look closer, we have here what we call a Lali drum. And this here has got a Fijian origin. And this is a drum in Fiji villages, what they do. If there's a wedding, they drum it in a particular way. If there's a funeral, they drum it in a particular way. So it's used in the Fijian context as a communicator within the villages. And last but not least, like all great things, they need to have a Greek origin, right? So in the Greek context, it's a name that's given to girl children, and it simply means outspoken, right? So this is how and where we try to define Lali as a brand.
So we've had this farm for really almost over 7 years now, but we've just went live with our products 4 years ago. So this is our first serving. It's about 4 years now in the market, and we're excited to be here, and we're trying our best to get new buyers and new clients, and to really kind of scrape through in the industry. We are in the Robertson region, so I guess the difficulties or the challenges will be that the soil that we have is only soil that is good for red grapes. So we are able to produce a little bit of white grapes on the soil, but we can't really produce too many of the other white varietals, so we stick more to the little red grapes. So that's a bit of a plus, a pro and a con, because we can't produce as many varietals as we want to and compete with the big guys, but it's also a bit of an advantage for us, because then it gives us a chance to focus on what it is that we are able to produce, the 11 variants that we have.
Modi actually was established many years back. It's by the Ranaka family. It's a boutique. It's doing quite well. We're also selling in the UK. We're exploring also Canada, but we're also exploring other new horizons around the country and other outlets. So we are very excited to be here and also to be part of the job creation and also supporting women and everybody in general in South Africa.
We are very excited to be at this year's show. We're presenting our red wines as well as our MCC. The naming of the wines comes predominantly from the Zulu language. The name Kulu means great or extravagant in Zulu. So we decided that we want to name our wines after certain things that we consider great or extravagant, like Umqele, which is the crown, Izigidi, which means millions, because of the millions of bubbles that you find in a wonderful bottle of our MCC. Dumagute, which is my clan name, Inala, an abundance of goodwill. We just wanted everything that is happy, everything millions, and everything good.
What definitely pulled me was the fact that I think there's 70% of women who are here for this particular wine expo. It's been predominantly led by black women. They own the wines and they're selling their wines, they're marketing their wines, and it tastes good. It's an amazing experience.
These local wine owners understand the importance of knowing where you come from and appreciating one's cultural heritage. They believe that by embracing their roots, they can create unique experiences for wine enthusiasts to enjoy and learn about South Africa's rich wine history. They see their wines as a way to connect with people, allowing them to explore the diverse flavors and stories behind each bottle.